What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode. This is episode number 51. We start days of stuff on the back of our big win away against Borussia Dortmund 4-1 in the Bundesliga with the first leg of our Champions League last 16 clash. And when the tie was drawn, I gotta be honest, I thought we'd be big underdogs heading into this Manchester City Pep Guardiola side in the last 16. We of course finished runners-up to Paris Saint-Germain, and that's why we faced one of the group winners. And they've still got their stars. Ederson is there, Ruben Diaz, João Cancelo. Porro's come on really nicely in this save as well. KDB, now 33, is still 89 rated. They've brought in Casemiro, James Maddison, Kakare into their midfield as well. And going up front as well, they've got some very decent players indeed. Liam Delap is coming along okay. Phil Foden's now 91 overall. Jesus 87. Jack Grealish is still there as well. And Sterling is 87 overall. And Ferran Torres 88 overall. Vlahovic has moved on as well. They're second place in the Premier League. 3 points behind Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. But heading into this clash here, yeah, I've got to be honest here, I felt as though we would be underdogs for this. First ever season in the Champions League, got through our group runners-up to Paris Saint-Germain, and now taking on one of the favourites, Manchester City, going for their first ever elusive Champions League title. I can imagine Guardiola had a wry smile on his face when he saw this tie was drawn. With the newcomers, with the kids on the block, we knew we'd be underdogs for this clash. Having said that, domestically, we've been on a great run of form. Only one loss in our last 11 in the Bundesliga. We're only 1 point behind RB Leipzig, who lead the way in the race to the Bundesliga title. But in Europe, this was going to be one heck of a tough test, no doubt about that. But I started the game off in attack mode, started the game off aggressive. I had the first chance, Robin Hack firing wide, then Hubner denied by Ederson as we were still tied at 0-0. But the opening half an hour belonged to Bielefeld. We'd been the better team, and after Brekalo found Dardai here, I saw the roof of the net ripple for a split second. I thought Dardai had just about squeezed that in inside the crossbar, but unfortunately not, over still 0-0. And unfortunately, I talk about this a lot, against the AI on Ultimate, they only need that one chance. In the first half, I played really good defense. I kept their star-studded attack quiet until the final kick of the first half, where Phil Foden banged in the opener with their only shot in the first 45 minutes. No chance for former teammate Zach Steffen facing his old club. Top bins, Phil Foden, 1-0 City, and all that good work in the first half undone by a brilliant strike. No chance the American. Man City had the lead. But in the second half, it stayed in attack mode, looking for that leveler, which I felt he deserved. First, Florian Neuhaus firing over 10 minutes after the restart. And then 12 minutes later, we come on the counter. Josip Brekalo finds Kolo Muani. Lovely through ball to Wimmer down the left-hand side. Patrick off the bench, using that pace, coming forward, cuts it across, but Brekalo just couldn't get his feet sorted in time. The Brazilian, Ederson with a save, keeps it at 1-0. And it was a game where I felt as though I played really well. I just couldn't take a chance, and with 4 minutes to go, as Wimmer comes in from the left-hand side, wouldn't you just know it, finally I beat Ederson, but the frame of the goal is struck, Man City cleared a follow-up cross, and eventually the final whistle was blown. And I felt so hard done by in that game, man. Guardiola comes to Bielefeld, gets the victory by a goal to nil. Phil Foden super strike right before the break, gives them the only goal of the game. And, you know, you look at the stats here, you look at the XG, and I talked about it a lot in the last episode, in episode number 50. Unfortunately, that's just how it is against the AI on Ultimate. And it's one of the reasons why I'm really enjoying this FIFA, because you need to be really on your game if you're going to win consistently and beat the bigger and better teams as well. On the balance of play, and I always present the highlights package very fairly, you'd think I deserved to at the very least draw that game. Instead, we lost it by a goal to nil. Man City took the only chance they got for a super strike from Phil Foden, and after all the chances I got, Ederson making a couple of great saves, and then later on hitting the crossbar through Wimmer, just wasn't clinical enough. Man City get the win, and I'm absolutely gutted about it, because we'll go to the Etihad Stadium. I felt really we needed to win the first leg, because away in the northwest of England, I don't fancy my chances. Travelling to the Etihad against one of the strongest sides in the competition remaining, Yeah, we'd have to come from behind to win there if we're to come from behind in the tie to make it through. It's not over. It's not over. There's a whole second leg to play, but I felt really, if we were to make it through and shock Man City, I needed to, at the very least, draw the first leg, but to lose it and not even get a goal, yeah, got to be honest here, we're in a bit of a pickle heading back to England. So for the second game of today's episode, I thought, right, do you know what? Big win against Borussia Dortmund before that clash in midweek here. Let's put that Man City game to the back of our minds. Mainz at the Schuko. Let's get a big victory here. Keep the pressure on RB Leipzig and potentially go top if they were to slip up. 30 minutes in, we were 2 goals up. First, Robin Hack's 9 for the season, making it 1-0, and then Ludwig getting our second. Mainz will get a goal back soon after to make it 2-1.5 deficit. But in the first half, I was playing some really good football, if I don't say so myself. Moving the ball around really nicely. The off-the-ball movement was very good as well. And as Llewellyn finds Ludwig, who scored our second goal here, he beats Aaron with a wonderful piece of skill, gets around his man, rolls it across, and Okugawa smacks it home to make it 3-1. Marco Ludwig this season has been so good. And how cool is this celebration, by the way? I love it. I've got to remember how to do this. I think it's R1 and then flick the right stick down twice. It looks so, so cool. Even so, Okugawa with another, and Ludwig, oh, that was a glorious assist there as we went 3-1 up. Played some great football in this game, and we restored our 2-goal cushion. Having said that, just past the hour mark, Mainz once again cut the gap to 1. Brilliant piece of skill here, to be fair. Gotta say, this was a class goal as Mainz got back in the game and reduced the deficit to 1 goal for the second time in the match. It's 3-2, 22 minutes to go, still down by a goal and looking to wrap it up and get a 2-goal cushion for the third time in the game. Great save on Ludwig kept Mainz still in the game and hanging on in there by a thread. And in stoppage time, clinging on to the 1-goal lead, McGregor rolls through Ganago, who caused me problems all game long. Scored their first, set up their second, and bangs in their third goal to level it in stoppage time. And how often do I say it? Late goals in FIFA, so common. You cannot afford to switch off until the very final whistle. Just one of those things, man. You can't afford to switch off. And to be fair, I think Mainz deserved a point in this game as well. You see the XG here was slightly higher than ours. We had around the same amount of shots as well. It was a really open end-to-end game. That was a really tough battle there against a side who we were furious against heading into the game, and in the end had to settle for a draw 3-3. And so frustrated as well, because how we won that game, we would have got a point clear of RB Leipzig. Instead, we both drew, and because of that, heading into match day 23 in the season and the first game of March, well, you see the league table right there. RB Leipzig away from home in a top 2 battle in the Bundesliga. You know, I've got to be honest, man, the teams below us, there's no reason why they can't catch up. It's been a really interesting season with Bayern faltering so heavily. But I do believe that one of these two teams is going to win the Bundesliga title. And with us right now taking on Leipzig away from home, well, let's just say it was time for revenge. Do you remember the game in the reverse fixture at the start of the season? Well, I hope you don't, because I've been trying to forget it since it happened. We got thrashed at the Schuko 7-0. Yep, if you missed that episode, I'm not exaggerating. We lost 7-0, and it was potentially my most humiliating defeat in this year's FIFA career mode, and one of my worst defeats in any career mode save I've ever done, and that is not an exaggeration. I lost 7-0 in the reverse fixture. So heading to this game at the Red Bull Arena, after no wins in our last 2, this was the game we had to respond here. 8 minutes in, we fell behind. Dani Olmo gets his first of the season, and wouldn't you just know it, it comes against us. The Spaniard fires the host in front, and in a game we simply couldn't afford to lose, because if we did, Leipzig would go 4 points clear with 13 games remaining. We were a goal down and almost 2 behind. Zach Steffen making a great save at his near post, keeping us trailing by just a 1 goal with 10 minutes to go before the break. Oh my goodness gracious me. When it rains, it pours in FIFA career mode. Back from his ACL this season, back in the first team, back to his best. 8 minutes to go before half-time, down by a goal to Leipzig, and now Okugawa forced off through injury. Yep, when it rains, it pours. Our Japanese talisman needing to be replaced on the stretcher. And I just couldn't believe it, man. We got him back to fitness, back to his best. And now once again, another serious injury. And at the break, we'd lost one of our star players and we were still down by a goal. And as things stand, going 4 points behind Leipzig with 11 games to go. I needed to find a leveller in the second half. A great save by Alex Romero on Ludwig off the bench for Okugawa, kept it at 1-0. And then a great save from the corner, denying Robin Hack, kept it at 1-0. A couple of big saves in succession from the Spaniard. And we still trailed at the Red Bull Arena, desperate to find the leveller which we so sorely needed. I'd been the better team in this game, just like against Man City. I played really well, some good football, just couldn't find that goal until I didn't. 59 minutes in, thought I'd tease you there. Hubner stepping in from the right, great save, kept it at 1-0, and we still trailed. And at this point, I was just thinking, do you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to find that goal. I'm not going to find that level. No matter how hard I try, I just can't get that equaliser. Until I did. Yep, thought I'd tease you there. Second time in just a few minutes, Hubner steps in from the right, and this time he gets it right. Theodore has not been that great this season. He's coming in on a free transfer. I picked him up as a bargain buy, or so I thought, but instead, not being the best. However, a big goal there ensures we get our leveller, much deserved as well, and at least claim a point. And now we not got it, I would have been fuming. Look at the stats at full time. 4.7 XG, 13 shots in the game, but only beat Romero with 1. Thankfully, that goal late on ensures we do not lose and keep Leipzig only just in front of us by a point. They would have gone 4 points clear had we not found that leveller. I will take the draw because it ensures we don't see the gap get extended. But the bad news, after no wins in 3, 90 minutes away from an exit in the Champions League and remaining in second in the Bundesliga, Messiah Okugawa dislocated his shoulder and he's done for 2 months. Dortmund are back in the title race. Leverkusen are only 6 points behind Leipzig as well. 11 games to go. And in a season where Bayern have faltered, no one's taken full advantage. It's still anyone's guess as to who will win the crown. But that will end today's episode of the Bundesliga Career, guys. Big fan for you. Enjoy it. Like. Most of you all have a fantastic day. And I'll see you next episode featuring the second leg of the Champions League last 16 against Manchester City away, where we must win to make it through very soon.